So one of the things I like about selling designs on my Spreadshop is that it allows shoppers to customize the designs. So if you have a design that you like, but maybe you want to add a few things to it, maybe it's too big, too small, you'd like to have it on the back of the shirt instead of the front of the shirt, or any changes like that, there's an opportunity within Spreadshop and Spreadshirt as well to customize the design. So if you just are not happy exactly with the design, would like a few changes, you can do that on your own. So to get started, what we're going to do is go over here to topics, and in this case I will select Corvettes, and you can see all the Corvette designs here. So I'm going to start with one of these designs down here. Let's say this Corvette C6 silhouette in white. When I select that, you can see all the products that this is available on. If you scroll down, you can see that it's available on lots of different t-shirts, apparel, cups, tote bags, hats, etc. So if you like this design, but you say, well, this is really minimal design, I'd like to add something to it a little bit, maybe just add some text to it or something like that, make it a little bit smaller, bigger. That's what the customize option can do for you. So to start out, let's just select this design here. This is the long sleeve t-shirt. And you can see here that we have set up certain colors for you. When I design these, I also set up the colors that I think this design would look good on. You can look down here, then you can look at the front of the t-shirt. You can look at the back, see there's nothing there, there's nothing on the side, or you can enlarge the design and take a better look at the design. The one option I really want to highlight today is this customize button. So when you click on that, you'll have the option to customize this design. So let's kind of go through these from the top. We'll go to products. I click on that, and you can see all of the products that this design is available to put on. Just scrolling down, like I said, there's kids, there's toddler t-shirts, there's tote bags, kids hoodies, lots of different items that you can add this to. So if you don't see a product that you'd like to have this design on not already set up, here's your option to change that product. Right now I'm just going to hit the X button, or the X to close out. And then we're going to look at the designs. You see these are all the designs that are available in my shop. So you could actually add other designs to it. So for instance, I could go select this red, white, and blue Corvette, and now they are both on this shirt. Along with that, when you do select a design, you have the option to resize it by selecting this resize button down here. You have the option to rotate it. You have the option to delete it, although if you just got here, I'm not sure why you delete it at this point, but you certainly could. This button here, right here, takes out the center guidance. So you can see it kind of snaps to a grid as I'm moving it around. It shows it's in the center, on the left, on the right. If you want to have a finer detail for changing this, you can turn that off just by clicking that. If you want it back on, you click it back on. And that's how you can go ahead and change these designs that are already on here. The other thing I should mention is that while you have this highlighted, certain designs, based on the type of original design that they are, you have the option of changing the color of the design. So you might see this white C6 Corvette here that you say, well, I don't have a white one. I have a different color. I have a red one. While that is selected, you can go over here in the lower right portion, and you can select these different colors. So if you have a red one, you can change it to red. If you have an orange one, you can change that color there. A yellow one, you have a few options for yellow. But you also have an option here to utilize uh, very fine color settings. So you can change this from dark to light, and you see as I'm moving that, you can see the color will change here. The other option is that you have an option to use what is called an eyedropper or a color picker. And what that does is takes any color off of your screen and applies that to the color of the design. So for instance, let's say I have a yellow Corvette and I want this to be really fairly accurate on the color of my yellow Corvette. So in that case, what we can do is we can draw from a picture that's also on the same screen. So I'm going to change this. We can see I have a picture over here of a yellow Corvette, and that's the color I want. So again, I'm going to go back to this color wheel. I'm going to select the eyedropper, and you can see it changes whatever I move the color to. So let's say I want it right about here, and now we have that color matched right here. So this color here now should match the color we selected. Again, any color that you can display on the screen, you can use that eyedropper to change the color. So now we have our color. What we can do is, if we wanted to, we could add some text. So right now, I'm just going to delete this design that we added to it, and I'm going to go over here to the text box, and it shows this text here. Now, first thing you probably want to do is figure out, well, what text do I want to have on here? Let's just say we change this text, so this, whatever we type in here will change over here. So I'm going to change that to, because it's yellow, here comes the sun. Okay, so we have that changed. And again, like you can do with the design, you can also move this up and down. You can change the size of it. You also have options to change the color. And for right now, what I think I want to do is change the color to match this color. So again, just like we did on the design, I can change the text to match that color as well. I can go to the eyedropper. I can wait until, move this here until I get the color that I want. Select that, and the text is now that color. So now that we have the saying that we want, we have it changed the color. You also have options to make that text bold. You could also do an italics. You could, even though it shouldn't make much difference here, you could do, you can center it if there was multiple lines. You might have the option to center it, left align it, right align it. So when you have multiple lines, you have that option. One of the other options here is to change the font. So by default, it's going to start with the Arial font. And you can see all of these different fonts you have down here. So you can see the type here. You can also select it. It'll change it. You can say, okay, maybe I like that. Otherwise, let's see what else we have. So all of these fonts can be selected, and you'll see the change takes place as we go along here. So I'm just going to scroll down here, and well, I think this Sunday looks good to me, especially since it's yellow and I have Here Comes the Sun. I'll just go ahead and use that font to change that. The font size you can change manually. You can hit the plus or minus, change the font size. You can also just control it by going over here. It will not let you go outside of this, the guide here. That's outside the print area, so it won't let you do that. The other option that we can do is we have this bend text option, which means you can make it bend one way or the other as soon as you release. So you could almost make that into a smile look. If you bend it under, you could also make it just kind of follow more of the curve of, in this case, the Corvette. Um, whatever you want to do, you have that option. Of course, if you just want to go straight across, you just put this back to 0. So for this, let's change this to maybe let's put a curve to it to somewhat follow the curve of the Corvette and the top of the Corvette. And then I'm going to resize the Corvette a little bit again, and I'm going to move that. Okay, so now we have the text on here that we've changed. We've resized it. We have the design on here. But let's say there's something else I would like to do, and maybe have this on the front. But maybe I'd also like to have something on the back of this shirt. So when we have the design, I think what I'll do is I will just duplicate, make a copy of this yellow C6. So now I have 2 of them. And what I can do is then, when I have a design selected, I can go down here and select print areas. And right now it's set to front. And I want to change that to the back. So now we have just this Corvette design on the back. And again, I'm going to turn off that grid, that snap to grid. And I want this to be as large as I can get it on the back of the shirt. So let's just move this around a little bit and make this as large as we can. Move it maybe up more in the shoulder area. And so now we have a large yellow Corvette in the back of the shirt. And if we look at the front, we have the yellow Corvette with the text, "Here comes the sun." My personal preference, if I'm going to have a shirt with something on the back, I might make this more of a badge size, so something on the upper left, well, left if you're wearing it, right in the design. So let's change this and move this design in the upper left, and then let's resize this, move that, make it a little bit smaller. You can see, if you haven't noticed, you can see that as you are changing the size of this, you'll see the actual dimensions. When you're customizing your own shirt, you have the option all of the colors. For instance, when I initially set this up with a white silhouette, I didn't choose white. But now that we've changed the color and redone the design, we may want to choose a different color. In this case, I'm going to go more for the deep navy, and then I'm going to go ahead and choose my size and quantity. So let's say I want a 1 extra large, and you'll see the price reflected down here. Now, one thing to keep in mind is this price right here is about $4 more than if you just bought the regular design. So when you make design changes, there is usually about a $2 charge per design change. So in this case, I believe the standard price is $26.49, and it's gone up to $30.99. But now you have something that is hopefully exactly what you want, not just a plain minimalist Corvette C6 in a white color. You've changed the color, you've added text, you have it on the front and the back, and potentially you could have changed the product as well. So with that, all that's left to do is add it to the cart, go through the process of paying for it and waiting for it to be printed and shipped to you. And that's it. That's one of the things I really like about Spreadshop and Spreadshirt, is the ability to change the design that someone else has done and make it more personalized for you. Thank you.